Okay, I know this isn't my normal topic of discussion, but we got to talk about the Conor McGregor fight because there is a lot of controversy behind this, and there is a strategy from Conor. So, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, Conor started the first 3 seconds of the fight by throwing a flying roundhouse kick. He landed on his right knee improperly and probably blew out his meniscus. Now, Conor was actually seen at a pain management clinic either 4 days before the fight or it was 4 days before he was supposed to fly out to LA for the fight. Now, this pain clinic is not a normal pain clinic that you would go to for health evaluations for the UFC. Instead, it's a very high level, high tech pain clinic that helps in whole body restoration. On top of that, if Conor was going there for medical evaluations, it should have been done weeks prior, as they need that for the fight commission itself. So, that pain clinic photo that we caught of Conor is very telling. Now, Conor himself has said on X he did not have any pre existing injury going into that fight. I think he has two reasons for this. The first one is good sportsmanship. After the Dustin fight, when he snapped his left leg, he sitting in the octagon was screaming, "Your wife, send me DMs. Hit me up later, baby, for the after party." I don't think he wanted to go through that again and all of the ridicule that he faced for it. But more importantly, I think he did that so that that fight was not retracted by the fight commission. I mean, a fight of this magnitude with so many eyes, the tickets being so expensive, if if any fight was going to get retracted for a fighter coming in knowing he was injured and not being able to pass a medical eval, that would be the one that they would do it to. And for those of you who don't know, Conor only has 2 more fights on his contract. This was the second to last fight that he had to fulfill. And I think that Conor is genuinely done with the UFC and wants to burn through these fights as quickly as possible. You guys know Conor has been on ice for the longest time with the UFC. After the Dustin Poirier injury, he did want to get in there, but the UFC made him do tough. And then when he pulled out of the Michael Chandler fight, who was the opposite coach on that tough season, they kept him out for another 2 years, trying to get this Max Holloway fight booked. Now, they do that very intentionally. Conor McGregor is a huge draw. They want to make sure to bring eyes to smaller cards by using his name. That's why he wasn't on the White House card. That's why he was on the following cards: International Fight Week. That's why he did not fight in 2025, because they knew that the ESPN deal was coming to an end, and they needed Conor's last 2 fights as leverage in their next deal, which they signed with Paramount. I think that this was a strategy for Conor, though. I think he knew that he was coming into this fight injured, but he did just want to get rid of this contract as soon as possible and was okay with, in the back, when he was warming up, you could see him just throwing left body kicks. I'm not even talking about when he was practicing the flying body kicks, which looked awkward. But after that, just practicing regular left body kicks and lowering the momentum, or the impact, I should say, he was stumbling after landing those kicks on the pads. And I've trained for years. And as somebody who has trained for years, watching a pro level fighter just throw a regular rear body kick and then stumble with 2 or 3 steps before he's able to reset into his stance, that is not a level of fluidity that any pro level fighter has. That, as soon as I saw that, I was like, wow, that looks injured. A lot of people have talked about, after he had done his walkout and he was taking off his shoes, how he seemed very hesitant to put weight on that right leg. And maybe the warm-ups in the back had exacerbated it, and he was already feeling the pain in that right leg taking off the shoe. But I think that was a whole lot less telling than just seeing him rip those body kicks on the pads and having to stumble back to his basic stance, not able to round off, not able to land in his regular southpaw, but instead stumbling around like somebody who's been in the gym for 6 months and still doesn't know their base. Um, Overall, I I don't know where he goes from here. Either book him the trilogy with Max and let's see a real fight, or put him up against Chandler for his final fight. Um, After that, I would love to see him box. Nobody's really talking about that, but let's get this dude in a fucking boxing ring, man. I mean, he's not going to be whipping kicks at high speeds. He's not going to be grappling, which caused the Corey Sandhagen knee injury on that exact same McGregor card. Instead, you still need legs for your basic movement. Conor's always been a distance management guy, but I mean, even with all of his previous leg injuries, that would be sustainable. And Conor's got great boxing. So overall, between the pain management clinic, doctors who have come out on X and said the movement of the knee itself did not look to be enough to actually blow out the knee completely, but instead, if it was a pre-torn meniscus, ACL, MCL, whatever it may have been, then that level of extension would have been enough to fully tear. So, like I said, there's so many suspect things to it. Strategically for Conor, it makes sense to deny it, not get the fight retracted. Of course, UFC fighters cannot buy out their contracts either. They can retire, but they cannot sign a fight contract with another promotion without the expressed consent of the UFC. So, yeah, it seems like, with the UFC keeping him on ice for so long, him not wanting to pull out and being stuck out until April of 2027, which was his next scheduled bout, according to Conor. I mean, because of all of this, it seemed to be a very premeditated plan in Conor's in Conor's mind, to go out there, take the loss on the chin. I mean, even when he was in the ring, man, in the octagon, he's in the octagon, and he started doing a little bit of shadow boxing, and then he stopped and he started moving his hands like this, and then right after that, you saw him take a massive breath, and when he exhaled, he looked defeated. I mean, it was really, really sad to see that, because everything about it was very telling, that it seemed to be a pre-existing injury. Of course, maybe it wasn't. Maybe, father time and specifically steroids. A lot of fighters have mentioned that after they stop taking steroids, their body is not able to recover at even a natural pace anymore, because of the effects of it. Cocaine, marijuana, alcohol, steroids, they will lower bone density. They will, affect the body. So truly, we can never know. I mean, Conor did say that wasn't the case. So that is what we have to go with. But like I said, the evidence of doctors coming out and saying that extension did not seem great enough to cause that level of injury. Us seeing Conor at a pain clinic just days before the actual fight. I mean, him and his camp actually stayed an extra day in that city when they were supposed to fly out. And they said that they stayed there for the nice weather. You're going to Las Vegas. I mean, it's a little bit warm, but dude, the weather is fine. It it definitely seemed like he just wanted another day at that pain clinic. So whatever medication they had him on would stay in his system longer, help mask the pain and the problems going into the fight. But overall, man, you guys let me know what you think. It was extremely sad to see that happen. I wish the best for Conor. I hope that he, sticks with his faith, that he keeps taking care of his body, and, maybe he'll be able to translate that into a boxing career, or at the very least, go on to fight Nate Diaz in the MVP promotion on Netflix, which I'm sure Netflix would fucking love that. So, yeah, that's it.